Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the topic of, is the era of global music superstars over? So, for this video, I'm going to discuss the topic of, is the era of global music superstars, like people like Michael Jackson, Bobby Brown, um, Kurt Cobain, Whitney Houston, all those type of people, is that era over? Um, in a simple and straightforward way so anyone can understand it. So if you're interested in knowing if that error is done, then watch this video to find out. Okay, so now that I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to answering the question, is the era of the global superstar over? Yes, but I don't believe that it cannot come back. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because most of the reason why there's no one who's really a big top superstar anymore is because the music most people create nowadays, who are artists, is straight up trash, to be honest with you. Okay, um the lyrics are not the greatest, and the music they make in general, even if they have a few songs that are at least entertaining, like good, because they're at least fun, like, but nothing meaningful, nothing of real substance. If anything, the truth of the matter is most of their other songs are just not that great, and they're just nothing interesting, nothing enjoyable, and they just suck. Okay, so as a result, the reason why I truly believe that era um, of it, I mean, is over temporarily, because I believe it could come back, of global superstars, is because the artists who make music nowadays just suck. There's nothing great about it. That's why every artist, specifically rap being a perfect example, but it's like this for every other artist, every other genre more like nowadays. You know why they're all hit wonders, okay? Um, you know, for rap, you never hear anybody who blows up in the past 10 or so years actually making a stable career by having several hits. And even if they do have hits, they're not anything memorable. They're not like, you know what like Tupac and Biggie were in the 1990s, or like what 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, and eventually Drake in the 2010s became. Okay, like people who were very well known. You could ask anyone in the world, even those who don't even listen to rap, you know, for that matter, who they are, and people go like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of him." Now try doing that nowadays. You ask anybody about these artists, they'll be like, "Who the hell is that person?" I've never heard of that guy before. And it's like, you'll be looking at on the internet, which of course a lot of young people nowadays, let's keep it real, are impressionable, and I can't really blame them in this case because it is very deceiving, the view system online. Like you'll be looking at a video and have like 500 million views, and you'll be thinking, "Oh my God, everyone must know who this person is." And you go outside, and there's bare people who've never heard of this particular artist, and that's the honest truth about this era we're living in nowadays. It's very deceiving. People will think that a lot of people have heard of this artist, but you look up, and there's a bunch of people who've never heard of them. And that's the honest truth here. So, um, that is the honest truth. Nobody really stands out anymore. Nobody really has anything that can really make people go like, yeah, we all know who that person is. Every time you hear anybody mention this person or that person, everyone goes like, yeah, we know him, you know, but it's only people in those particular circles um, who follow specific niche odd genres of music, you know, or whatnot, or even just certain particular genres, whatever. The point of the matter is that to be honest with you, is that there's just no one who's really, really, really famous anymore. There was an era, not only a few decades ago, you could literally go in the middle of a forest and ask who's this particular artist, like for example Michael Jackson, and everyone would say, I know who that guy is. Now try doing that nowadays, no one knows. And the reason why is because all the music these artists make nowadays suck. There's nothing really that great. There's nothing that really sticks with you. It's just nothing really that amazing. It's just okay at the most for the songs that they make, okay? Not only are the lyrics not that great, the beats they sound the same. They all have the same fundamental sound and it gets kind of tiresome and boring. It's like I've heard this a million times before. No one's innovating, no one's trying anything new. And that's honest truth here. So to answer your question, is the age done? Yes, for a period of time, but I believe it can come back. Because the truth of the matter is, okay, even though I know people would say, well, the world has changed so much since decades ago, I don't think that era is ever going to come back again. Because the truth of the matter is, we have the internet and there's so much stuff on there and the internet and but I don't really believe that because we still have TV, we still have the radio, and people still consume that stuff on a regular, everyday to day basis. Okay, so just saying that, oh, because you know, the internet is the main form of media nowadays does not necessarily mean that people will stop consuming um, things like TV and radio that actually make it more likely everyone will hear about something. Okay, that's the honest truth. Okay, to be quite blunt honest with you. Okay, so to sum things up, yes, I definitely do believe I mean, um, we could still have global stardoms or global superstars, more like, if anything. It's just that what we need is we need to have artists who have talent, okay? We need to have artists who actually make songs and actually have good, meaningful lyrics. And even if the lyrics are just more meant to be entertaining, like the song is just more meant to be entertaining, it's still told very well, okay? Um, and not just that, but people who are willing to do beats, but are actually not just making beats, but actually make beats that all sound different, okay? And that's how you become someone who's actually respectable, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, I know people say this and say that, well, some people have tried it and it didn't work. But when you listen to their music, especially from a logical perspective, non biased one, you actually look at it and you see exactly the mistakes that they made that literally made every other artist in this era unmemorable, whether it could be mumbling in their music, um, if it's rap or just any genre for that matter, they're just producing bad lyrics. And you listen to their beats and it's like the instrumentation is nothing special. This is something that everybody has done before. There's just nothing that sticks out to you. There's nothing that really gets you going. And that's honest truth here. So to sum things up in general, if you're doing things like that, you can't expect people to really really be in love with your music and become a global superstar that everybody knows. Okay, that's honest truth here. So to sum things up, yes, I definitely do believe that um to be quite blunt and honest with you, I definitely do believe that global superstars um can come back again. It's just, are you willing to put in the time and effort? Are you willing to do the hard work? Okay, which is what my channel talks about, um, and gives advice for how to make good music and not suck. And that's honest truth. For my channel, because I'm part of my channel is to give advice on how we can make entertainment great again, which is why it's called the Entertainment Advice Channel. So that's honest truth here. But when it comes to aside from that fact though, in all honesty, when it comes to of course talking about you know um answering your question that you obviously want to have answered, which is that could it come back? Yes. But is it dead for now? Yes, definitely. Okay. And that's honest truth here. Because the truth of the matter is if somebody tries to make music and is actually trying and is not fucking around and is not partying and wasting excess time and actually trying, I am certain that era can actually come back, okay? Because in this era, people, even with the internet, people can still find out who you are. You just have to stand out from the crowd. You just have to do something that makes you memorable, as well, so people actually all know who you are. And that's honest truth. So anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say. And simply put it, if you like this video, remember to thumbs video up and hit the subscribe button. And that is it. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.